Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got third. He's going for second. Earnhardt going for the lead.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is on the Motor Racing Network.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Hear it live on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Check it out live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Confederate Mike in for the vacationing Russell Stroud. 1 minute. Everybody here has been in radio like 2 days, so the headphones are barely turned up and I can't hear myself. All right, there we go. How you guys doing? All right? Good. Good to see you. Everybody looking fine today on this dry Monday. It's about time. I am so over the rain here. A rain with no rainbow in Chattanooga. I remember a couple of 2-3 years ago, all it did was rain. I think we received more rain in this city than any other city in the country. So enough is enough. This year's been absolutely beautiful. 800-8949 if you have something on your mind. Russell, normally during binary is going to talk about tech stuff. We're not going to talk about tech stuff today. It's way, way, way too important to disseminate information about how you're being manipulated, subverted, and perverted through primarily the national news media. And federal judge just made an important decision. We'll be discussing that in a minute. But now more than ever, I believe we're seeing the power and the lies, the control, the manipulation of the national news media like we've never seen before. It is so obvious that they have an agenda. It is so obvious that they are prevaricators. You would have to have just crawled out of a rock not to observe the bias in the media. And that is all national mainstream news media. I hear it here too locally at other radio stations. This is my job to listen to other stations. But on the national level, it is so obvious that only a 6-year-old would not be able to detect it. This is a good thing, by the way. It's a good thing because people are turning away from the national media. And the national media is freaking out. You see, back in the days of CBS, ABC, and NBC, and that being your only choice, Americans were easily propagandized by Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather and the rest of the clowns that came on your television at 6:30 for the national news with their big intro, dun, 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 dun. Tonight, we're covering, and of course it's some sort of conservative or Republican allegedly doing something wrong. If you're a youngster, I want you to look up, if you're just a youngin', I want you to look up Watergate. Go to Google and say Watergate. And I want you to see what Nixon did to get him thrown out of office. He resigned, but basically he's thrown out of office. And scratch your head and wonder how the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton could have gotten away with what they've gotten away with and what they're getting away with based on what was done to Nixon. This is about controlling $3 trillion. Don't ever forget that. $3 trillion. With the news media controlled by the multi-trillionaires, the New World Order, one world government, and I'm not going to talk about, there's one big conspiracy where they're sitting around a table. This has been happening since 1913, since the Federal Reserve Act, a private banking cartel controlling monetary policy in our constitutional republic. It's not the Congress that you elect. It's a private banking cartel. So this has been happening in more recent times for over 100 years, this NWO. It's about control and power. Who is going to determine where $3 trillion goes? This election is about. And that's why the rhinos like Lindsey Graham and John McCain shaken their boots at the notion that an outsider would have control over that money and possibly discover the fraud. Because there's been a fraud perpetuated upon you for many, many generations. Not just you, not just your granddad, your great-granddad. And probably beyond that if you want to go back to Lincoln. American journalism is collapsing before your eyes. This is a New York Post article. I normally don't like to read verbatim articles, and I'm going to try not to do that with this, but I want you to get the gist of this. Because it is so important to understand that the news media being controlled by the monopoliers, the ones who monopolize. This has been going on since the early 1900s. The idea was, my mouth isn't working this morning, that you need to control 5 major news sources, like Reuters, like AP, the ones that set the agenda, the tone for the news. And if you can do that, you've controlled your nation. It is, in essence, a monopoly. Donald Trump may or may not fix his campaign, and Hillary Clinton may or may not become the first female president. But something else is happening before our eyes. The complete collapse of American journalism as we know it. And by the way, I noticed that a couple of years ago, and that's why we have here, You Report, the World Decides. That's our slogan, AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. You report, the world decides. Because now journalism is coming from the people. What is journalism other than you detecting something? That's what news is. And reporting it, reporting the facts. That's real journalism, reporting the facts. But we're not seeing journalism anymore. We're seeing propagandizers. He goes on to say the frenzy to bury Trump is not limited to the Clinton campaign and the Obama White House. They are working hand in hand with what was considered the cream of the nation's news organizations. The shameful display of naked partisanship by the elite media is unlike anything seen in modern America. The largest broadcast networks, CBS, NBC, and ABC, and major newspapers like the New York Times and Washington Post have jettisoned all pretense of fair play. Their fierce determination to keep Trump out of the Oval Office has no precedent. We had seen the emails revealed that the media is working with the Democratic Party. Of course, there's no outrage because they would have to be outraged about what they do and report it. And they're not going to do that. They're going to cover it up. They want to make sure that you, whether you're black or white, that you hate your black brother, you hate your white brother, you hate your Hispanic brother, that you hate. You're consumed with fear and hate so they can continue to control every single aspect of your life. They are the individuals elected and are hired to oversee and perpetuate the growth of the fascist, Marxist, socialist, communist welfare state. Socialism is government control over production and distribution. The only nation in the world that you are truly born free is these states united. And then we whittle away at our freedom by giving up our individual God-given rights enumerated in the Constitution, there being about 165 and 10 enumerated, by taking on some sort of pretended privilege or benefit from the state or your masters. It could be anything from a driver's license to a business license to applying to collect sales tax. Anytime you ask for permission to do something from the state, you're giving up a part of your freedom. Because freedom or liberty denotes choice. You have the choice to do it or not do it. So one cannot claim to love liberty when you're compelling someone to do something that they don't want to do. And I'm going to talk about something just basic and simple that everyone believes has to happen. And let's just talk about something simple, like a social security number. Let's think about that. When my daughter was born, she didn't get a number. Because why would you give your daughter or your son a number issued by the federal government when there is to be no relationship between you and the federal government, only you and the state? That relationship is to be between the state and the feds, not you and the feds. If you understand the structure of this republic in the Constitution, that's where the relationship begins and ends. But you are told you need to get this number because your grandma was told that and grandpa because of Roosevelt in World War II. We're going to take care of all your needs, everything you want. So we're going to compel you into it now. And by the way, it's voluntary. It's not a contract. Social Security, listen to me. Forget about all those wild legal theories. It is not a contract. I'll say one other thing. The United States of America is not a corporation. There's a lot of wild legal theories going around. The United States of America, or these United States of America, let me correct myself, is a government of limited powers granted by the Constitution created by the people under Article 1, Section 8. The state, the same thing, but denied powers under Article 1, Section 10. There is no United States of America. There are these States United of America. So we get that wrong. We, the people, created this. Now, I'm going to try to make this less inflammatory as I normally would, with Confederate Mike screaming and yelling, because this is so important. You have to recognize this, because this is the beginning of the erosion of your individual rights. This is the beginning of the manipulators, the socialists that have your kids right now in daycare, that are feeding them lies, that will then bring them into the middle and high government schools of lower learning, and then the colleges, and then spit them out into the corporate world to die at 65 by some sort of government-created disease or anointed disease like smoking, because they're no longer useful to the system and giving the system 50% of what they earn or what you earn. The Social Security number is voluntary. Social Security is not a contract. When you accept the number, the courts have routinely ruled you're accepting a federal enfranchisement. That number is not you. You are not that number. When you see a corporation, you go into you actually see it. You walk into the building, you see the corporation, right? No, you don't see the corporation. The corporation is a legal fiction. You don't see 55 miles an hour. That's a legal fiction. It's a fiction of law. Doing 35 and a 55 when you get penalized or fined is a fiction of law. You agreed to the conditions and the terms that you would keep your speed at a certain level based on the driving code, the statute, based on you having a license. You agreed to all this. These are all legal fictions. They don't exist as a tangible thing. Corporations don't exist as a tangible thing. Your Social Security number, in essence, turns you into an avatar. It's not you as a person. It's your avatar. That Social Security number, when given for anything other than Social Security reasons, is illegal. The Social Security number was to be used only for Social Security purposes. Benefits that the state believes, I guess, unconstitutionally, because the Supreme Court ruled against this many times, to attend to the needs of everyone. But the state in giving you something because you applied for benefits. That's what the intent of that number is, for you to apply for benefits under their Social Security system. It is a legal fiction of law, whereby if you use that number in business or in your personal life, then you cannot claim that you're a free person, that you've got liberty, because you've voluntarily taken on that number and that special privilege and franchise from the federal government. In a case called Hale versus Hinkle, the Supreme Court said there's a clear distinction between an individual and a corporation. An individual may stand upon his constitutional rights. He owes nothing to the state, from which he derives nothing other than protection, which is guaranteed in the Constitution. Now, that's almost verbatim. I'm reading that from the top of my head. But a corporation must submit its books and records to the government because the government created it. It's a creature of the state. Corporations have charters. The state breathed life into them. Frankenstein's monster. And the corporation comes alive. and it can sue and be sued. It has certain privileges based on its corporate charter, as the state or federal government deems. It has no individual rights. It has to submit its books and records for review. It has to operate in the public interest, where the courts have ruled you as an individual do not have to submit your books and records. I want you to look at the basics here. Now, how can that be when every year we submit our books and records to the federal government? Where if some sort of government bureaucrat, crony, socialism is government control over production distribution, walks into your business and asks to see your books and records, you produce them. Because you're no longer operating on individual God-given constitutional rights guaranteed to be respected in the Constitution under the Bill of Rights, under primarily Amendment 4. Because the courts have ruled that there is a clear distinction between an individual and a corporation. An individual may stand upon his constitutional rights and owes no duty to the state and does not have to submit his books and records to the state unless there's an oath or affirmation or a warrant to do so by an independent, objective jurist. So what has happened is we have changed our status. The Constitution hasn't changed. Law hasn't changed. We've changed through subversion, manipulation, and perversion. Through your mom and dad and their mom and dad in the system, and back to the news media now. In the early 1900s, controlling all information. And by the way, the federal government sends not only the media, but Hollywood hundreds of millions of dollars to promote their point of view. You'll see it in sitcoms and movies, propagandizing you into what you should do, how to be a good little citizen, so on and so forth. Because it enables the system to control more, to subvert, manipulate, and pervert you. Every time I see a veteran with his leg blown off or his arm blown off because he went to the Middle East to fight, I cringe, and I am pissed off. And I'll admit it, I'm a right-winger, I'm a hawk, I'm a constitutionalist, but damn it, the Constitution says if you're going to go to war, you need a declaration of war. President doesn't have the authority to do that. That's treason. And the Congress doesn't have the authority to give the president the power to do that. Because when you do that, look what happens. The founders weren't stupid people. You get Korea. You get Vietnam. You get Afghanistan and Iraq. One president's all hyped up. They send troops in. They get their legs blown off. They take a city. The next president says, we're going home. War is a commitment. The whole nation is on board when we go to war, or most of the nation. But yet, what does the media do? It covers it up. It allows people like Hillary Clinton. We don't have to talk about Benghazi. That cow's been beaten to death 10 times. Hillary Clinton and the rest of Congress to raise their hand going, yeah, let's go to war. Let's go to a country that had nothing to do with bringing down the World Trade Center. Nothing to do with it. If anything, it was in Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia. But we can't mess with Saudi Arabia. They're our friends and they have lots of oil. And we let the news media get away with this. We let them get away with this. Fortunately now, CNN's being chanted down. We want the truth. Report the truth. We need the news. I'll tell you what, in 40 years, I've never seen Americans come together with really wanting the truth. And I've been doing talk radio since the 70s. And it's been a struggle. Because when you do this kind of talk radio, or you did in the 70s and 80s, under the so-called fairness doctrine, you'd be visited by the federal government. They threaten your general manager. They threaten you. They fine you. They come into your radio. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you. When you go against the system, you get attacked. I don't like talking about it too much because it empowers the Marxists. And the only thing that gives them power is fear. Fear. You being afraid. Don't ever be afraid of your government. If you're afraid of your government, they're in control, not you. And I love my country. I love America. I love this constitutional republic. Was it Burke that said all that is necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing? We are under occupation. And it started with Lincoln, but we are under federal occupation. You have to understand this. Just because the Supreme Court says it's so doesn't make it so. And it's only so when the left likes it. Because when Barack Obama and the liberal Democrats, the liberal Republicans don't like it, they don't agree with the Supreme Court. They don't follow their rules or their mandates if they disagree with it. We've got lots more to talk about. This is Binary, AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio on YouTube. Hot News Talk Radio, hotnewstalkradio.com. You can find us on the TuneIn Radio app at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Cash, and more cash. Rick Davis has the cash and diamonds. 1 point to 10 carat. Buy, sell, and trade. Clusters, solitaires, 3 stones. An all-new holiday special. 70% off. You'll save thousands. Free layaway, free sizing, free insurance. Rick Davis has the cash and diamonds. Don't wait. Lay away today and save. It's perfect for holidays or weddings. 70% off the perfect designer diamond. Cash, and more cash. And now clusters, solitaires, and 3 stones. Rick Davis has the cash and diamonds. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. 5301 Brainerd Road. You know where it is.
NMLS 2239. Listen up, y'all. Ben Phillips Home Rate Mortgage, 805-9100. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money, pick that cell phone up right now. 805-9100. I received a call that I won't forget. A family of 5. The husband's a TVA engineer. Financial stress was rising from medical bills and children in college. We lowered their rate, paid off their bills, and saved them $800 per month. Now they're living stress-free. And the best part is this. They're skipping 2 payments and paying off their home 7 years faster. It's easy, and you can do it too. It just takes 10 minutes, 1 phone call to 805-9100. There's no cost and no obligation. So why wouldn't you call? 805-9100, or if you're at your desk like me, get a quick quote at homeratemortgage.com. That's 805-9100 or homeratemortgage.com.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
All systems go.
Got a printing project on deadline? Advantage Printing in Brainerd offers the highest quality one-stop service in Chattanooga. Graphic design, printing, addressing. Don't create a mailer unless you first check with Alan about the latest postal hassle. He'll handle the whole thing for you. Advantage Printing. Your advantage is in our name. 4031 Brainerd Road next to the Bilo. Print digital or offset, wide format, engineering drawings, start to finish. Advantage Printing. Check the details with Alan. 629-1800. That's 629-1800.
All systems go.
Treat yourself and your vehicle to a sparkling shine inside and out at Country Boys and Toys. 9606 Dayton Pike, Soddy Daisy. Remember how it felt the first day you brought your new ride home? Clean as a whistle with that new car smell. Well, you can enjoy it again and again, over and over now, with auto detailing from Country Boys and Toys in Soddy Daisy. Call 309-0426. That's 309-0426.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Looking good out there through the afternoon. Lots of sunshine, less humid, highs into the mid and upper 80s. Tonight, fair, comfortable low 62 to 65. For Tuesday, partly cloudy, a little hotter, highs up around 90 with a few widely scattered afternoon showers and storms returning on Wednesday. Dr. Ron Phillips has released the most important book he's ever written, The Unraveling of America. He pulls back the curtain and exposes those who are pulling the strings and unraveling the fabric of America. Available at Amazon or ronphillips.org. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Hi, my name is Bill. Oh, no, it's Jill. Oh, yeah, I want to be Jill today instead of Bill. Are you serious? Are you serious? Obama administration ordering 9,000 federal buildings across the U.S. to allow biological men into women's bathrooms. Not only into the bathrooms, locker rooms and showers. Interpreting Title 9. Seriously. This president is the biggest dick in the world. Do you hear me, Barack Obama? That's one thing the federal government, they think you fear them. Do not fear them. I will tell you this. If I see a burly man wearing a skirt going into a bathroom, I've been in federal buildings, sometimes to go to the law libraries, sometimes just to check out their shenanigans. And my 13-year-old girl's in there going to the bathroom, I'm going to kick the crap out of him. And if he's too big, I'll bum rush him. And then Barack Obama, when you're out of office, if I see you when you're a private citizen, I want to come up and smack you in your face, you little bitch. How dare you? How dare you risk the lives of our little girls, you perverted creep? And what the hell is wrong with you, America and Democrats? You are disgusting. If you accept that as a Democrat, you're a filthy, disgusting pig. I don't have any friends that are Democrats. I don't associate with family members that are Democrats because I don't roll around with filthy pigs. Because this is what this filthy pig party is doing. You're absolutely disgusting. Federal judge, fortunately, late last night blocked Obama and this perversion. Taking action that would force public schools to allow students to choose the bathroom to match their gender identity. Are you serious? You know, listen, I hired someone who identified themselves as a woman and was a man. I hired them. I knew what they were up to. I hired them. And I said, as long as you're not on the clock, you can dress any way you want. And I understand the plight he was through. And I even lost the client over it because I defended him. But that's a far cry from allowing a potential pervert, on male or female, into a bathroom or a shower or wherever that your kids can't be protected, because this is what the communists have been planning to do. They want to tear down the structure of our republic and rebuild it in their image. They hate America. They hate our constitutional republic. They hate what our nation stands for. Don't you ever believe otherwise. Last segment we discussed socialism and monopolistic. I can say that word now because I got a little adrenaline in my blood. Government control of production and distribution. Wanting to turn you into nothing more than an avatar. You have to break a nation down before you can rebuild it. This is Nation Building 101. And the news media is complicit in this. When a soldier comes from his mommy and daddy, 18 years old, and he's been playing video games and patted on the head, oh, you did a great job. You didn't win, but you participated. Here's your star. And he gets to that Marine drill sergeant. He goes, "You're scum! That's why we shaved your head. When I say something, you listen, you obey. Do you hear me, you punk? You're not with your mommy and daddy anymore." Because they're tearing him down to build them up in the image that they want. And that's what the Democrats primarily, many Republicans, about 80%, and the Barack Obama administration has been doing. Tearing down every single facet of this country. He does not like blacks. He does not associate himself with African Americans. He never has. Look at how many poor black kids are being slaughtered in Chicago. Look at Chattanooga, where now what they want to do is hire 10, 20, 50 community people to come in and volunteer and deliver pizzas. The liberals and the socialists and the Democrats up top are pure evil. The liberal socialists and Democrats on the bottom may want to do it for good, but they're clueless. Absolutely clueless. A Democrat couldn't find his rear end without you pointing it out to him. They're not that bright. They need to be employees. They need to be told what to do. They can't be in charge. Some people just can't be in charge. Why can't we get that? It's not their makeup. Hillary can't be in charge. She's too corrupt. To be in charge, you have to care about people. You have to care about your fellow human being. You have to care about the people you work with. You want to enlighten them. You want to pull them up. You want to help them. Dummy rats don't want to do that. They want to take and redistribute. They want committees and forming more committees and more groups and organizations. Led by Texas, 13 states sued the feds after the Education and Justice Department sent a letter to schools nationwide informing them they must honor the bathroom choices. Go to hell. That's what I would say. If I was, I'd stamp it on top and send it back. Go to hell. You know, one time I'm running the station and I had the Department of Labor come in and question me as to what happened with one individual. And I said, you know what? You want to run this place? Here's the keys. You pay the bill or get the hell out of my radio station. Do you think our grandfathers would put up with this crap? We're in a war. Do you understand that? And I'm not saying this for effect. We are under occupation. We are under occupation. These people in Washington don't care about you, don't care about Constitution, don't care about individual rights. They don't even read the damn thing. Ask them a simple question. If the Fourth Amendment says, I don't have to give you any of my information without a warrant, how can you compel me to give you any information? Are you telling me, sir, you're not going to pay? You're not going to... No, I'm not telling you anything. I'm asking you a question. I'm not saying taxes are illegal or unconstitutional. I'm asking you a question. Does the Fifth Amendment guarantee me my right not to speak or express myself? Then how can you compel me to write anything down? Answer the question. They can't. Because you're under occupation. You're in the Roman Empire. Because you accept it. 95% of the people prior to the revolution wanted the king. Do you know that? 95% of the people in Philadelphia, New York they all wanted the damn king. Because they'd rather live in misery that's comfortable than freedom and liberty. The only reason the founders signed the Declaration of Independence is because people were marching on Philadelphia to throw them out. They were tired of it. There was going to be a revolution either way. Either with the founders on board or the founders not on board. But they were tired of government. And that was 5% of the movers and shakers that were being slaughtered by the Indians in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The Fair Play men marching from Lock Haven to Philadelphia with a constitution very similar to the one that was signed. I know real history. I'm from Philadelphia. I went to the archives. I spent my life as a teenager in federal buildings reading the law. And now the Fed's sending out their little pamphlets telling the coward school boards, because you're a bunch of damn cowards, because you kowtow to them, because you want the money, tell them to stick their money. We need to take care of our own here in Hamilton County. You have a crappy education system. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Get your act together. We have some of the worst test scores in the country. Because you won't let your teachers do the job. You won't let your principals do the job. You won't let them teach. You teach them stupid math that doesn't make any sense, and the parents sit back and take it. You know, in Delaware, they had the whipping post up to 40 years ago, so maybe they should have been taken out and whipped. While the elite Barack Obama continues his golfing. You know, when George Bush didn't show up at Katrina, the news media was all over. He doesn't care. Oh, he breached the dikes purposely. He hates black people. And I don't like George Bush. I don't even know why I'm defending this guy. I don't like him. I don't like Bush Sr. He's a socialist. And so is his daddy, another one-world socialist. However, what's fair is fair. Like with Cruz. Cruz, as much as I like him constitutionally, he's not qualified to be president because he wasn't born in this country. And neither was Obama. I don't care if you're a 100% constitutionalist. If you're not born in this country, you can't be president because that's what the rules say. That's been my problem the whole life. I didn't make the rules. I can read English. The right of the people who keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. How clear is that? If you pass any law infringing it, it's unconstitutional. I didn't make it up, but I can read. Oh, but you're going to cite me for running a stop sign or a red light or exceeding the speed limit. What law are we going to follow? What law are we going to follow? That's how you know you're in a state of lawlessness, when you can't follow any law. Because there's no law to follow. It's anarchy. We're in a state of anarchy. We're going to impose this on you when we want to. There are so many laws in the books. If they wanted to shut me up today, they could do it. All I have to do is pull you over and throw a bag of cocaine in the back of your car. You're going to jail for 25 years. Trafficking drugs. There's always a way the system can get you. And I can tell you this. We're on the air to create the illusion that there is some semblance of freedom of speech. Because if our broadcast affected the federal government, the state or local government, we'd be off faster than you can blink your eye. But I keep telling the guys, keep doing it. Because this is for future generations. These videos are being archived, the audio, everything we write. It's for future generations. We may not be able to make an effect now, but eventually we will. Federal judge blocks federal action. Did you ever think in your wildest, you know how many problems we have in this country? Hey, we have black children in Chicago getting murdered. Weekend after weekend after weekend. But he cares about his people, right? Number 1, Detroit, the most poorest in poverty since 61. Number 2, Buffalo, since 54, run by Democrats. I'm going to give you all the cities run by Democrats that are more dangerous to be in at 2 o'clock in the morning than Baghdad. Cincinnati, number 3 in poverty, run by Democrats since 84. Cleveland, Ohio, number 4, run by Democrats since 89. Miami, always. Number 5 in poverty. St. Louis, Missouri, run by Democrats since 1949. Number 7 is El Paso, Texas, forever run by Democrats. Number 8, Milwaukee, since 1908. Number 9, Philadelphia, one of the most poverty-ridden cities since 1952, run by Democrats, and one of the worst of all, one of the most dangerous cities to be. I would rather be dropped any place in the world, including anywhere in Iran, or as they used to be called, Persia, than Newark, New Jersey, ranked I don't know how it's number 10, but since 1907. These are cities that dummy rats Democrats are in control of. Never, ever, ever. I don't care if you vote Libertarian. I don't care if you vote Constitution Party, Independent. Never vote for a Democrat. Ever. I don't care if it's your mother. I told my mother, and if my mom liked Clinton, I said, I would never vote for you. My father, my brother, I don't care. I would never vote for a Democrat. My kids, never vote for a Democrat. Ever. Ever. One reason is in the platform of the Democratic Party, and I want you to listen, stop being quiet. Okay, it's not kind to be quiet. It's not kind to be quiet. Do you know that? If someone's drowning and you're quiet and you don't scream and yell and get some help, you just killed them. I know the Southern way is to be a little calm and quiet, and we Northeasterners got a big mouth. There's a reason for that. And I love the South. That's why I'm here. And I can't stand the Northeast. Because I have to be surrounded with liberal goofballs That there's no talking to. There's no saving those people. Listen, they're going to collapse within their own garbage, within their own filth. But we have a choice here. And the first thing is take that damn picture of Abraham Lincoln down at Allen Elementary. Get rid of that. Okay, put Roger Sherman up there. Have Washington, then Roger Sherman or Jefferson. It's the first thing you need to do. Symbolism is important. Secondly, if your friend, if your family member, if your relative is a rhino, a liberal Republican or Democrat, tell them how you think what they're doing is evil. By even admitting that. Why do I say that? Because the Democrat Party, and listen, the second the Republican Party includes this in their platform, I'll be attacking them just as hard. That it's okay to kill unborn children. And I'm not talking about a little blob at, 2 weeks. We're discussing 24 weeks. Just before birth at 9 months, where Hillary says it's not recognized as a human being or a person in our Constitution. Now, Texas Democrats want to allow abortionists to use scrapers and a vacuum to kill children by shredding them alive at 24 weeks. At 24 weeks, she is fully formed, and she will be screaming in pain. These are evil, evil, delusional people. And I want you to think about that. If you know anyone in your family that's a Democrat, I want you to show them a picture of what, and I don't want to hear this garbage of, well, I don't agree with everything, or, I am pro-life, but, people have a choice. Oh, really? Okay, so let the woman or the man kill her 2-year-old kid once the baby's born. Well, I really don't agree with keeping kids in a hot car on a day where it's 100 degrees out. But they have a choice. It's their kids. They can keep them in there. That is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Don't ever say that in front of me because I'm going to knock you on your ass. Please. Don't ever say that in front of me. Oh, I agree with protecting unborn children, but, you have a right to do that. And God will answer, you'll be, shut up. As that baby's screaming and crying and being torn apart, we're going to wait for God to intervene? You remember the old story of the flood? Big flash flood comes up. And this guy scurries to his rooftop as the waters rise up to his feet. And a helicopter comes in to rescue him. He goes, I don't need you. Go away. God will save me. Helicopter goes away. And all of a sudden, the rowboat comes up. Get in here, buddy. You're going to be drowned. Come on. I don't need you. Go away. God will save me. The rowboat goes away. All of a sudden, it's reaching his feet, and it's going up, and a motorboat comes by. Stops at him. Let's go. Come on, hurry up. Get in. Oh, I don't need you. God will save me. Rowboat, the motorboat. Man dies. Gets to the pearly gates. And he says, why? What's wrong? I lived a godly life. I'm a good person. I gave. I went to church at least twice a week. God, why did you do that? I have so much work left undone on earth. Why didn't you come and save me as promised in the Bible? But God said, I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. He's given us our common sense to know it's not okay to kill unborn babies. It's not okay to have it in your platform. It's not okay to send money to people to kill unborn babies. Because if you do that, you're complicit. You may as well go there and scrape out that unborn baby yourself. You may as well pour acid on its head. You may as well put a gun to its head and blow its brains out. You're just as complicit. You know what? You don't want to hear that because it's the truth. Point fingers. Don't let people control, manipulate, subvert, and pervert the English language. Be clear in what you're saying. And if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible, God says the answer should be yay, yay, or nay, nay. Not lukewarm. The only thing in the middle of the road are yellow lines and dead skunks. And if you're in the middle of the road, which one are you? The yellow line or the dead skunk? It's yay, yay, or nay, nay. All that is necessary for evil to prevail is that good people do nothing. It's time to do something. Take your country back. First, you have to get educated. Then you have to get involved. And that doesn't mean belonging to groups or organizations. That means with everyone you come in contact with, make sure they understand the truth. Make sure they're on the right track. Make sure they're not part of the problem and they are part of the solution. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. www.hotnewstalkradio.com. Hotnewstalkradio.com. Great app called TuneIn Radio. You can check us out there on Facebook, on YouTube. We are broadcasting live worldwide. Have a great day.
News Talk 1240. AM 1240. Hot News